Plant medicine. Many people seeking both spiritual or mental health healing have gone to a shaman or maybe some new age millennial seeking healing by engaging and participating in an ayahuasca healing session. Retreats are held all over the world for the purpose of not just healing yourself with this plant medicine, but also connecting to the people in your surroundings. The small group of like minded people who all came together to share an experience that could be defined as life changing or also horrifying. Today, we are going to break down and expose a potential plant medicine cult and try to decipher if an ayahuasca retreat is really all it's cracked up to be. So, this should be a fun one, everyone. So, sit back, relax, and take a deep breath. It is time to let the fresh air in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Erin, and I am fascinated by all things cult, true crime, and unique spiritual practices. And today we are getting into those unique spiritual practices. I drop about 3 videos every single week on one of these topics, including deep dives on cult, true crime cases that are interesting to me or need to get more views, or roasting things cult leaders say, which is low-key my favorite thing to do. Also, this month and next month, I am featuring teachers in each of my video, and I am really excited to share that I am sharing my very first teacher. So how this is going to work is I'm going to share their Amazon wish list below in the pinned comment, and if you feel so inclined, you can click on it and order an item for them, and it will be shipped directly to them from you. So let's help as many teachers as we can this year. We all know, I'm sure, that being a teacher is not easy, and having to spend your own money on your own supplies for your classroom just seems really unfair to me. So let's meet our very first teacher. This first wish list is from Caitlin Level. She has shared a really cute picture of herself and a student, and she blurred out the student's face because she's an amazing teacher. And so I'm going to share her wish list down below and a little bit about herself. In her email, she wrote, "Erin, I've always been thrilled to see the contributions and call to action you've been able to provide through your channel. Aw, thank you. Hearing that your reach would be extended to educators this summer made my teacher heart smile. I've taught 4th grade for 4 years now, and the percentage of my monthly pay that goes towards keeping my classroom stocked with essential supplies has been astronomical. I have a really hard time asking for my students' families to contribute, as I teach in a Title I school with mainly low-income families in high-risk situations. This push of any assistance truly is such a gift to so many educators. I'm thankful for people like yourself who use their platform for so much good. Wow, thank you. In so many formats. I know that any teacher who is chosen in this outreach will be thankful beyond words. Thank you and all the best in your summer." Oh, that's so sweet. And we'll just take a quick look at her wish list here. She's got label dispensers, she's got storage boxes, jumbo wooden craft sticks, lots of stuff that she just needs for her classroom. Seating cushions, those look like they're expensive, but probably necessary for a bunch of 4th graders. And I used to teach theater to kids in the same age group, and I can tell you that having colored directives and places where they can go sit can be so, so, so helpful in trying to manage a room of 20 plus kids. So please make sure that you help her out if you're able. There's absolutely no pressure at all, but some of these items are really affordable. Here's some numbers for $9.99, cardstock paper for $14. So anything you can do to help Miss Level or Lavelle, maybe her last name is Lavelle. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Um, I know she and myself would really appreciate it. And thank you for having the courage to write in. I know it is not easy to ask for help. Okay, everyone. I really fell down the rabbit hole with this one. And I thought, you know what? I want to bring all of y'all with me because I'm pretty sure I have undiagnosed ADHD and I spent way too much time just looking for information about this group. So I was doing some more research on Teal Swan because I wanted to debunk some of her claims, but unfortunately, she has copywritten almost all of her videos, and I'm not sure if that copyright is like automatically transposed to her written blogs. So if you have any understanding of that, please let me know. I even searched in the copyright database to see if perhaps it was just like a warning and not like a legitimate copyright. Because I was like, how do you even copyright a YouTube video that would technically be protected by fair use? Well, she does own the copyright and she's copywritten like every single one of her videos, all like hundreds of them. She also has a history of plagiarism, so I was trying to like copy paste some of her blog into a search engine to see if maybe I could prove more of her plagiarism, and I came upon highexistence.com. That's right, everyone. Highexistence.com, which, after further research, seems dangerously close to a cult. It uses a lot of the same language. It's run by a group of men whose credentials are all plant medicine practitioner, plant medicine leader, just, self made, self created titles to make them sound more legitimate. And I've actually been idling on this website for the entire time I've been talking. And I got a little pop up notification that says, have you woken up? The path to absolute freedom can be challenging and lonely. Join our list to receive a weekly email with tools, guides, practices, and gatherings that will support you on your journey. Yeah, because we're just all asleep. You know what I mean? So let's figure out what high existence is all about. One thing I think you will note is that things are perfectly vague. They're specific enough so that you think you're going to be getting some kind of spiritual lesson or value, but vague enough that you have no idea what's going on. It's very flowery language. And I think if you're someone who's feeling a little lost or confused in life, you might think, oh, this is resonating. But you let me know if you feel the same way. Enter a world of wisdom and wonder. At High Existence, we believe in a different way of life. We discard resentment, boredom, and numbness and trade it for the vibrant pursuit of wisdom and wonder. Adventure lives everywhere, and miracles happen daily. Do you have the eyes to see it? If you're a free thinker who strives to live outside the box, if you want to scrap the script that's been written for you and author your own story, we welcome you to our corner of the internet. Since 2009, we've reached millions of readers with our mind-expanding content, and thousands of you have taken the leap into our in-person and online transformational programs. Cool, so you're probably wondering, oh, wow, what is this all about? I want to write my own story. I'm a free thinker. That's all we got. Now you got to just sign up for the newsletter. Okay, so I was like, okay, this seems really strange. I'm going to see the team. Maybe the team has some credentials or like is really interesting. Meet the team of heart-led conscious creators. I feel like anytime you hear these buzzwords of like, I'm leading with my heart, or I felt called to do XYZ, I'm a conscious creator. We're all connected to the same consciousness. Yeah, maybe we are in certain spiritual practices, but these are just red flags, words that we can kind of pick up on, just be aware of, okay? It's kind of like the specifics are in the non-specifics when it comes to cults. The least specific, the more like questions you have to ask them and they're going to answer for you. And I don't mean questioning their authority. I mean questioning their philosophy about life and asking them, hey, are you able to heal my pain point? They're like, yes, we are. Come meet our team. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited to learn more about John. So John is a Stoicism teacher. Cool. Wow, I didn't know you could go to school for that. And most importantly, practitioner. His Stoic meditations have accumulated thousands of listens, and his Stoic handbook, Ancient Technique, okay, breakdowns provide a unique take on an otherwise outdated approach to this beautiful philosophy. John continues to thoroughly research the philosophy of Stoicism, but also draws on his own life experiences, such as his background in martial arts and understanding the science of effective learning, to innovate these ancient ideas, creating a true Stoic training program, which he believes is a missing component in the modern teachings of Stoicism. Okay, wow. So I had to just look up what he was talking about, not because I don't understand what it means to be stoic, but because when it comes to a philosophical idea of what stoicism is, I didn't exactly know. And it's just Wikipedia, but I did find a Stanford paper on stoicism, and I was like, okay, let's go to my good friend Wikipedia. So, the Stoics believe that the practice of virtue is enough to achieve eudaimonia, a well lived life. Stoics identified the path to achieving it with a life spent practicing the four virtues in everyday life: wisdom, courage, temperance, or moderation, justice, and living in accordance with nature. So, that gives you kind of like a better idea or understanding of what exactly it means to be stoic. So if you want to learn about how to be more stoic, this is your guy. So far the cult's about stoicism, okay? Let's check out Mike. So Mike is a magician and poet telling tales from the intersection of attention, deception, and wonder. Cool. Definitely someone I trust to teach me the things I need to know. All right, Eric. Eric lives at the intersection. Nobody lives in one place. They're all in the intersection of. So they just need to give you like coordinates so you can figure out their exact location. Eric lives at the intersection of psychedelic therapy, individual awakening, cultural architecture, and cryptographically secure protocols. I feel like these are all I feel like these are written either by AI or they were like, this sounds really good and sounds fancy, and it sounds like I'm an expert at something, but I don't need to actually prove that I'm an expert at anything because these words sound so fancy and most people are probably afraid to actually like look up what these words mean. Deeply interested in shamanism, liquid democracy, and your story. He's designed psychedelic therapy protocols used by thousands. That's concerning. Where is it that you're a psychotherapist who can actually offer people any kind of guidance, whether it's a prescription medication or a plant medicine? And crafts transformational containers designed to facilitate peak experiences, deep healing, and community building. None of this so far sounds legitimate. And this is where I was like, this sounds really culty, but it's like a dude cult, like a millennial white dude cult. It's strange. Okay, Mike looks like he's ready to have a good time. Mike is an entrepreneur, designer, aspiring leader, druid, and warrior monk in training. In his free time, you'll probably find him thinking of his next meal. Same. Testing answers to life's deepest questions or doing qigong in the forest. He's always there to make sure that the team is nourished and on an aligned path to growth. He must be like the food guy. Like he makes sure everyone's fed and stuff. Okay. And now we've got Ronan. He's a writer, musician, coach, and social entrepreneur. What is a social entrepreneur? Is that like the same thing as a social climber? Not sure. Committed to seeking truth, finding beauty, and deepening human connection and community. Ding, ding, ding. I wish I had a red flag to wave. I really need one. I believe the meaning of life is each person coming into a full embodiment of themselves and discovering how to share it with the world around them. I'm currently interested in questions around the wisdom of following our deepest desires, recasting our relationship with time and productivity, and always what it takes to live the best life possible. So this is the team. This is the team. So what you're going to get from them is maybe a magic show, some psychedelic therapy. You're going to get to learn about stoicism. It sounds like stoicism is like the prime philosophy that these dudes have. And you're also going to get food and maybe like a music show. And you're going to get to follow Ronan, who's a social entrepreneur, which is really fun. So I'm so sorry. I know I'm being like really snarky, but what are you offering me? What are you offering me? So far, your website's telling me absolutely nothing. If I was someone who was like, I just want something that makes me feel better, and I don't know what that is, and I don't know if I can afford therapy, or it doesn't resonate with me to go to therapy yet, I might come across this website and think, ooh, okay, there are a couple buzzwords here. I'm an adventurer. I like to meditate. I want to indulge in psychedelic therapy. Like, these guys seem nice. They're young. They seem really energetic. I think Mike was like a groomsman in a wedding or something, and so he must have a bunch of friends. Maybe you're feeling a little bit lonely and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to build community with like-minded guys. This sounds awesome. So I was immediately like, I got it. The podcast is exactly what you think the podcast is going to be. It's purpose, prayer, the vision quest, the path to plant medicine facilitation, all of the things that you think this stoicism plus plant medicine nature vibe group is all about. And you know what? Maybe that's fine and dandy. I believe in the power of plants. I'm a vegan, for goodness sake. I only eat plants. I love them so much. Have I indulged in certain plant experiences? I have, where it's legal, but it took a lot of warming up to do, and now I know that it triggers my anxiety, so it's not so fun anymore. So I had to figure out, what is this experience? And the first thing that popped up was apotheosis, and I was like, ooh, new word. Sounds fancy. There's a fun logo with a triangle, which is a sacred geometry symbol. What is going on here? What is this? Well, apotheosis is the ultimate spiritual psychedelic retreat. So what exactly is that? Well, it's a group of people who are going to come together and do a bunch of psychedelics after they've paid an exorbitant amount of money to be there. So what is apotheosis? It is a spiritual psychedelic retreat that brings together students of life from all over the world to catalyze breakthroughs and accelerate growth. Do we have any specifics yet on what this is? Not quite, not yet. A carefully curated series of peak experiences designed to show you what is truly possible as a human being. I'd love to know what these peak experiences are. Are we walking on coal? Are you going to make me sleep with one of those dudes that we just featured? Like, what are the peak experiences? Are we ziplining? What is happening? A one-of-a-kind transformational event integrating plant medicine with a myriad of other philosophical and spiritual practices. A loving and accepting environment that births powerful community, there we go, camaraderie, and reconnection with self, others, and nature. Apotheosis is a modern rite of passage. It is one of the first retreats in the world to incorporate a truly diverse array of spiritual, shamanic, and philosophical modalities to create a uniquely enlightening oasis. I don't think any of those guys were shamans, because typically it's like a shaman that helps you do ayahuasca and goes through this plant medicine experience with you and guides you. And from my understanding, you have to be very, very, very particular in who you choose to work with at these retreats, because it is a mind-altering. It is something that can change who you are at your core forever, especially if you have a bad experience. We select groups of wonderful human beings from all over planet Earth and bring them together in magical locations for several days of uncommonly meaningful and sacred experiences. It's another way of saying we bring a bunch of people, we're going to make it seem very exclusive because we're going to select you, you're going to apply, and then we might select you, which I think just means they want to make it sound like it's this special so that when you are selected, you feel special. It's like a way of to love bomb you. Oh, we have so many applicants, but you were chosen. You were chosen. Really? You're going to say no to someone who's going to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to come to your retreat? I bet you're going to let everyone in. Okay. You got 5 dudes to feed. So their last retreat was just last month, May through June. So this is all we get to learn about the retreat, okay? It's going to be May 26th through June 1st, which was previous. So this already happened. You'll be in Mexico at this retreat. We'll be working with ayahuasca and bufo alvarius, which I'm not sure what that is. So what else? What else do we get? How much is it? Like, please give me the details of what this is. Why are all of these cult leaders so afraid to provide us with the details? Is it because they don't want outsiders showing up? Because if we've learned anything from Twin Flames universe, they do not want to give you all of the details because they want to keep certain people from learning the details. So I was like, okay, I want to learn more. I'm going to apply. Let's see how to apply. All right, so now we get another sales pitch. We get to go down another fun little click funnel. Apotheosis is back, and it's stronger than ever before. We've conjured up something truly magnificent. We're calling an intimate tribe of 13 guests to join us in the Mayan jungle of Mexico, where we will be working with 2 of the most profound medicines on earth, ayahuasca and bufo alvarius, a shamanic jungle oasis. So I was like, okay, I want to apply and see what this is all about. When you click on this button, it says, "Dear friend, welcome. We're honored that you feel called," buzzwords, yet again, "to join us for a life-changing Apotheosis retreat. Please bring deep presence as you take 10 to 15 minutes to answer a few questions. This is an opportunity to speak with truth of your heart. With love, the Apotheosis team." Note, to continue your application process, you must schedule a call with our team. The link is near the end of this form. So you have to answer all these questions, and after you spend time answering these questions, you have to schedule a call with them. So when you click on Let's Begin, it just asks you your name, your email, all your contact information, your age, which I don't know why would be pertinent. Maybe they only want people of a certain age to go. And then you have to schedule a call with their team. And this is a tactic that I haven't seen people talk about a lot, but I've seen it happen with really narcissistic people or like sketchy salesperson tactics and within cults because they don't want there to be a paper trail. So what they do is they'll have you call them and make verbal agreements with them. And they'll always paint it as like, oh, this is just a way to get to know you better and a way to connect more. And it's like, well, no, I think you want me to agree to do something and then I won't have any proof that we had this discussion. It's kind of like doing a handshake deal for a lot of money without there being an actual contract attached to it. And that is very problematic, especially if you're about to jump into something that you don't really understand what you're going to have to jump into. And one of these questions is, why do you want to come? And I bet you most people are thinking, well, I want to try ayahuasca. Like, what? Or they're sharing really deep, heartfelt pain points. So now when this person gets on the call, they know exactly how to manipulate you and make it sound like this is going to heal all of your pain points if you go on this retreat. So if you were to answer that question and say, I'm feeling lost in my life, I'm having a hard time making connections, I feel really heavy every day, and you're listing off all of these things that are making you more vulnerable to them, they now have all of that information like collateral in their back pocket. And now they're able to manipulate your pain points. Well, don't you want to grow? Don't you want to feel? I bet you they're going to share their deep experience and they're going to be like, oh, I was right there with you. That's exactly how I felt before I did ayahuasca. It was so transformational. And I'm not saying that Ayahuasca can't be very transformational. I've heard fantastic stories from friends that I know, people I know that have experimented with ayahuasca or other plant medicines, and that's fantastic for them. But people have also had really, really detrimental experiences, and I want to share some of those with you. Now, this is not connected to the group that we're currently discussing, but I want to share this article just to be responsible and to hopefully share like both sides, because I do think that some of these plant medicines, they get like romanticized, and since we don't really necessarily know the significant impact it can have on your life long term necessarily, it's not like documented. It's more of a spiritual journey that people go on. I think it's important to discuss. So this article on Medium, written by Alexander Comstrong, says bad reviews of ayahuasca retreats are utterly terrifying. I'm in Peru, somewhere you can walk in off the street and book into experiencing ayahuasca in a retreat. At home in England, getting hold of psychedelics is an altogether different experience. But here, it's all above board, legal, and as such, Google or TripAdvisor reviewed for all to see. The good reviews are as expected, life-changing, beautiful, and hugely important experiences. But the bad reviews are a warning to anyone looking to drink ayahuasca, a reminder to research and research well. The dangers. There have been a few reports previously in the press about occasional deaths linked to the retreats and cases of SA or bad experiences. There is a retreat in the Philippines where I was witness to a cry for help from someone of the staff on its Facebook page while the shaman, the alleged abuser, slept. The next day, the post was gone, and so were the replies from people who'd also suffered at his hands. But for that, there's no lingering evidence. The posts are long gone. Luckily, the people doing such things can't remove reviews on third-party sites. They're there for all to see and be warned by. Let's have a look at some. Here's one which, possibly no fault of the venue, does react differently to everyone, but shows that things can go wrong even when everything else seems good. The staff are really nice people and they mean well. However, in my case, they gave me a high dosage that I was not ready for, which ended in my first panic attack ever. Since then, these past 2 months has been quite the hell for me, where I had to be hospitalized in my hometown. Ayahuasca is unpredictable. While a huge majority of ayahuasca drinkers feel mental health benefits, there will always be the statistical anomalies, the unlucky ones. Real people like this guy who ended up in the hospital. But it gets worse. Quite deliberate abuse happens occasionally, and when under the influence of ayahuasca, you are incredibly vulnerable. From a lady called Helen. Do not go here. I was essayed during my massage and it was an awful traumatic experience. I pray no other girl endures the same disgusting treatment at the hands of this man. Just in case anyone wants to see where exactly this is, it's Cusco Medical Clinic. Another from the same place, this time from a nurse who ended up in need of medical attention from drinking volcano water. Be aware of this place. It is a business, not a healing center. The volcano water they insist you drink ended up making me very ill. They insisted it was normal and that I should continue. Upon arrival at the temple, it was empty. After about an hour, a shaman arrived. He said I was too sick to proceed, but I was not allowed to leave until the boss, Joanna, let me. It was about another hour until she arrived, and when she did, she insisted I go forward with the ceremony. I had to beg for her to let the driver take me back to Cusco. There was no multiple shaman, no translators, and no medical doctor as advertised. I did not feel comfortable or safe. Upon return to the office, they refused to give me a refund, even though their toxic water made me sick. I had to threaten to get the U.S. Embassy and Peru police involved. At this point, they finally agreed. This was good because I ended up needing medical care. I was prescribed several medications for an infection and now must continue care here in the U.S. I'm not sure how this place has positive reviews. I suspect they hire people to write them. The main office is under construction and everything is covered in filth and dust, and there's no bathroom. I'm not sure what they do when they do ceremonies at the office. I'm a nurse and I find this place very unsafe. From a different place. If you are a female, please avoid. I was pressured into doing ayahuasca when I did not want to do it. I was told my boyfriend would leave me and I felt not safe. One of the shamans was inappropriate and told me he liked me and wanted to see me at my hotel when my boyfriend was still at the retreat. Then there's a Reddit account of a bad experience that didn't go away for several weeks. Now that I'm back home, I have the feeling like life isn't real and that I never came back and that I actually went in a coma. I feel like I'm in a coma and my parents and family are waiting for me to wake up. And to be fair, there are some good reviews. Omij has changed my life. I'm going to butcher a lot of these words. I'm going to just not even try. I did one ceremony in D and the 5-day retreat in Spain, and the ceremony leaders, Kevin and Tom, as well as the many guides, made my time in both locations so beautiful. I had very difficult ceremonies, and there was always someone who took care of me when I needed. They cook amazing vegan food after a session and are there for you when you want to talk about your experience. You also always share with the entire group the day after what you've experienced the night before. Ayahuasca and especially Omij have changed my life and my mind, and I would recommend it to anyone. I made lifelong connections during the retreat, especially where you stay with 16 other people in a beautiful villa in Spain with a pool and 2 cute dogs. They organize a nice program for the free day. 100% recommend. I will be back regularly. So look, this video is not to demonize ayahuasca. But how do the organizers of the Apotheosis retreat describe the medicines? There are 2 medicines that have given our team truly indescribable gifts of healing, illumination, and connection to the divine. Because, of course, there has to be a connection to something higher than you, right? When experienced in a sanctuary such as Kumankaya, in a space held by masterful shamans, the potential of these medicines is beyond words. There is a tremendous ancient intelligence at work within these medicines, an intelligence that knows you better than you know yourself. This is dangerous verbiage. This is very dangerous, in my opinion. When you're making a medicine that is very untested and can be dangerous and can cause panic attacks, has caused deaths, calling it an intelligence is misguided and dangerous and shows that these men are just trying to sell you something. An intelligence that can help you bring love to your deepest wounds, embrace all parts of yourself, and guide you home. It's not uncommon for people to report that working with these medicines felt like years of therapy condensed into a matter of hours and minutes. It's not an exaggeration to say that through these medicines, one can receive lifetimes of wisdom in a single ceremony. And this is what I feel is so problematic about spiritual retreats in general, is this idea that self-work is not going to be ongoing. The idea that you can fix yourself in one plant medicine session. The idea that some cult leader has the secret recipe for whatever healing you need, and if you do what they tell you to do, you will never need healing again. Life is exceptionally difficult and so beautiful. But humans are going to change. Different experiences are going to shape us and teach us and cause us to get triggered and have to relearn why we got triggered. If we are going to accept the idea that the experiences we had as a child shaped us into who we are today, then we have to accept that the experiences that we are having and healing through right now and the work we're doing to heal our child self, it is going to transform who we are in the future. So to imply that you have a secret answer to everyone's problem, whether it's psychological or emotional or it's trauma or love, whatever it may be, to imply that that healing can happen all in one condensed event or time frame is absolutely and unequivocally just plain nonsense. We're always changing. We're always going to grow. Every day presents brand new opportunities that could either make us feel incredible or harm us. And to imply that this plant medicine will make you feel good forever is misguided. For Jeff and Shalia to claim that their MAP mental health program is going to rewire your brain forever in just a few sessions is ludicrous. Stop trying to find these quick fixes. Literally, whether it's for your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, there is no quick fix. It takes time and consistency and understanding and having a willingness to look at the darker parts of yourself and have more self-awareness in order to grow. And also accept that next year something might happen and you might have to go through a similar process again. But going to a retreat is not going to heal the rest of your life. When you go to a retreat that one of these cult leaders have, you feel high. You're around people that are all going to be pumping love into you. You're around your guru who's propped themselves up to you as someone who might be all-knowing or directly connected to God or a higher power, who is an expert in whatever ailment you have. These guys are claiming to be like human experts, stoic experts, cryptography experts. Where are the credentials? What are you actually offering people? What you're offering people is an experience for them to have, which is fantastic. If anyone wants to go to an ayahuasca retreat and they trust the practitioners and they believe that it's going to be a healing experience for them, or you're just like, I don't know, I just want to have the experience myself just to see what it's like, go for it. But be careful with it. These guys could sell this retreat without making it sound like every person who wanders into this retreat is going to heal their entire life because this medicine has a greater intelligence than anything anyone has ever known. It's dangerous and it's misguided. And I'm sorry to go on a rant like that, but this is the theme we see in so many of these problematic groups, whether or not they are a cult, because I think that like spiritual influencer trips and retreats are just BS. Like you might go if you want to have a beautiful experience. Would I go to a meditation and yoga retreat? Absolutely. Because I want that experience. I want to be in the jungle in Costa Rica and be meditating every day and tuning into myself when I don't have any technology around me so I can connect to myself. Go and do that. But to go somewhere and have these extremely high expectations that this is going to heal you better than therapy will, you're not being given any tools that are going to serve you in your real life. When you leave the retreat, you come back home and you're served with all of the same obstacles and problems and difficulties and challenges that you had before you went to the retreat, whether it's affiliated with the cult or not affiliated with the cult. Me going to one yoga or meditation retreat is not going to heal everything in my life unless I'm able to find something tangible that I can bring into my life. Oh, this type of meditation is really helpful for me. Maybe I can use it every morning when I do my morning meditation. Or, wow, I learned a new posture in yoga that I want to get better at. That makes me feel like I'm improving on a skill. That's fantastic. Go for it. You might have this realization that does change your life. But if you do, please know that that's because of work you have done. It is not necessarily affiliated with the retreat or the guru or the plant medicine. It has to do with you coming to a realization yourself. And if any of us keep abandoning our own power in that and we say, oh, it's thanks to this guru that I feel this way. No, it's not. It's thanks to you for actually doing the work on yourself and listening to yourself and tapping into yourself and being able to look at some of the dark parts of yourself, be honest, and embrace all sides of you. And that's going to change. There are days where I'm like, I've figured it all out. And then a week will go by and I'll be like, I don't know how to do anything. What am I doing with my life? Like, life is going to be like this. It's just never going to be like this. And I think the sooner we're able, maybe that's very pessimistic, but like, I think as soon as we're able to accept that we are going to transform and go through many seasons of life, the better off we are. And if we can just kind of flow through that and accept that, maybe we won't seek out other people to heal us, and maybe we'll be able to heal ourselves better. I'm going to give this to them, okay? They do give you a bit of a disclaimer. It is essential to approach these medicines with deep reverence and to work with them only if you feel a sincere heart calling to do so. Entheogens are not toys. They are arguably the most advanced psycho-spiritual healing and awakening technologies known to man. And technology, it's not a technology, it's a plant. Ayahuasca and Bufo alvarius are exceptionally powerful, even in comparison to other entheogens. Bufo is regarded by many as the most powerful one on planet Earth. We view these medicines as sacraments, as initiatory portals into unfathomable love and grace. What else are you getting initiated into? This is giving that sweat lodge where people were encouraged to push past their pain from the heat of the sweat lodge and the dehydration they were experiencing and the hallucinations they were experiencing simply because they were overheating, and people eventually died and no one was held accountable because, well, they could have left the sweat lodge at any time, but they were coerced by the leader to stay in because if they left the sweat lodge, they were weak. They were considered weak if they left. Not willing to grow, not willing to look at the deeper sides of themselves, not willing to mentally be able to overcome any amount of physical pain. We are only human. We're only human. We're not machines that can just withstand high amounts of heat or pain or hallucinations. We need to tread with caution. I feel like if I continue, I'm just going to rant and rant and rant and rant. Let's switch gears and learn what the real agenda will be at this retreat. What are you really going to be gaining? Well, you'll get yoga, meditation, breath work, plant medicine, nature immersion, as if you can't get that by going outside, meeting extraordinary people. Cool. I'm gonna spend $1,000 for that. Awakening workshops, delicious, nutritious meals, Buddhism and Stoicism lessons, bonfires, music making. Do we also get a magic trick from our other buddy? Digital disconnection. Digital disconnection. That's a part of this sales pitch. Creative expression, philosophical inquiry, unconditional love. That's interesting. Freestyle rapping. Wow. Definitely gonna spend few thousand on this spiritual treat to get me some freestyle rapping. Hammock lounging, wildlife appreciation. Oh, not the ecstatic dance. Everyone loves a good Osho-esque static dance. Hiking, stargazing, therapeutic journaling, spiritual contemplation, sharing circles, eye gazing. I've never ever looked into an eye. Loving kindness meditation, constant deep conversations. Many long bear hugs, lots of surprises. Wow. Sold. And if you go to the retreat, you'll get some of these outcomes. 93.3% of survey respondents ranked Apotheosis in the top 10 most meaningful experiences of their lives. 73.3% ranked Apotheosis in the top 5% of meaningful experiences of their lives. And 6.7% said Apotheosis was the single most meaningful experience of their life. Spiritual significance. 86.7% ranked Apotheosis in the top 5 most spiritually significant experiences of their lives, and 40% said it was the single most spiritually significant experience of their life. I'm really confused where these numbers are because 40 plus 86 is more than 100. Just saying. Well-being and life satisfaction. 93.3% said their sense of personal well-being or life satisfaction increased moderately or more as a result of this retreat. 60% said their sense of personal well-being or life satisfaction increased very much as a result of Apotheosis. Okay. To create and hold a sacred space in which individuals are radically free to be themselves and to feel the ecstasy of being alive. To catalyze deep identity-level personal transformations and spiritual epiphanies, leading to greater well-being and fulfillment. It's all just these spiritual buzzwords that they mean nothing and everything at the same time. It's like just word salads. Word salad after word salad after word salad. to facilitate an environment of divine community and unconditional acceptance and love in which all beings are embraced with open arms. Well, then why do I have to apply to go? You want me to apply, but you also say that all beings are embraced with open arms. If this isn't some kind of cult, I do feel like it could be a gateway to it, right? We talked about that a lot with Teal Swan and her having like her fringe members of people who just watch her online. And then like there's the deep inner circle of people who are her closest followers and completely controlled by her. I could completely see this turning into you never have to leave the retreat. You can stay here forever and ever. To assist in the healing of the planet and the co-creation of a more beautiful future, to remain non-dogmatic in our approach, equipping individuals with the tools to find their own path to truth and liberation, said every cult ever. To act from a place of love and integrity in all that we do and all that we build. Okay, cool. We've got some new guys. Okay, let's learn about these new guys. Oh no, some of them are the same. There's Ronan. I've never seen a group of like, is this like a plant ceremony for men? But then there are women in it. It's very confusing. So this guy, Jordan, is a space holder, integration coach, psychedelic facilitator, heart healer, writer, rapper, mystic, philosopher, father, and celebrator of the great mystery. For 12 years, he's been on a quest for truth that has taken him to 30 plus countries in the far reaches of inner space. Instead of outer space, guys, get it? His work and creations have reached millions of people. The North Star that guides him is the unsayable divinity he has come to know through entheogenic and spiritual work. His highest calling is to be what he truly is, and to be a clear channel for divine love and grace. Wow, it sounds like Jordan here might be the leader of the group. It's giving Jeff Divine. We've got Eric over here who lives at the intersection. Oh, we talked about him earlier. And then Nick. Yeah, they're all affiliated with High Existence. It feels to me that this just goes on and on and on. Oh. Okay, guys, let's see if we fit any of these. Apotheosis is not for you if you're not ready to be brave and move beyond your comfort zone. You're not able to be compassionate and accepting towards all kinds of people. You're unable to be completely honest with our team. Oh, it sounds like they're like potentially, I mean, yes, you want people to be honest, but I feel like that means that you're kind of being coerced into share information that you might not otherwise share. You have a family history of certain mental health diagnoses. You're currently taking prescription antidepressant medications and want to participate in plant medicine ceremonies. You'll likely need to wean yourself off these for 4 to 8 weeks first. You're just looking to get high and party. The retreats are between $2,000 and $3,000. And they're, again, only like 5 days, I think. 4 or 5 days. Food and lodging are provided. That's great. You'll purchase your own flight. They offer. All right. Yeah, this just feels, maybe I am totally off, but for me, this feels problematic and concerning. There's just not enough information available to me to help me make a decision on whether or not I would want to go to this and feel safe. There are so many red flags. I always think it's a red flag when you have people sharing that they're an expert because of their experience with something. Like they haven't actually done any tests on it. They haven't made sure that it's going to work for everybody. They aren't psychologists. They haven't gone to divinity school or whatever it might be. It's always a red flag for me when the people involved are just there to say, oh, I have a lot of experience and I've traveled and I've talked to shamans and I've had some great experiences working with these plant medicines, and I think that now I can facilitate healing for others. That shouldn't be how it works. I think that that's falling into some dangerous territory, if you ask me. But hey, I could be totally wrong. What is your experience with plant medicine? What do you think after looking at these websites? And what is the vibe that you're getting from these people? Does it give you a cult vibe? It's giving me red flags, like glaring red flags, like avoid at all costs. Like you get there and you are perhaps coerced into doing something that you don't want to do. And I want to make this disclaimer before I sign off. I've never tried these plant medicines. I don't know how beneficial they can or cannot be. However, if you do choose to partake in any of these, please do your research, be careful, and just make sure that it is something that you are 100% ready to do, not something you feel like you have to do to heal. I would say, just unsolicited advice from some random chick on the internet, I would just say do it for the experience, not for your healing necessarily, because I think that it can be dangerous if you're feeling any type of desperation for healing and then having to like let go of all control over your senses and your body and your mind to engage in essentially drugs like this. So, guys, with all that being said, I am so eager to hear if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, if you've gone to this apotheosis and you're like, it was amazing, or if you're like, this also sounds really culty. For me, again, red flag city. They are just popping up everywhere. And so I had to share it with you just in case anyone was thinking of going on their next retreat. So let me know what y'all think about this video. Let me know what your opinion is. Don't forget about our wonderful teacher, Miss Lavelle. And take care of yourselves, guys. Be safe out there. Ask questions and always stay skeptical. Until my next video, guys, thank you so much and travel safely if you're doing that this week. Thanks again. Bye.